Hi class. The purpose of this short video is to discuss the final portfolio, which is due during the last week of class, so week 15. I am creating this video at the midterm point of the semester so that you will have plenty of time to think about your final portfolio and to write the extra poems in the portfolio that aren't discussed in class, and to become as creative as you possibly can be with your final portfolio. So let's begin. The first thing I'd like to do is to take you to the instructions for the final portfolio, which are found in the assignment section of the class. And I go down, scroll down to final portfolio, and I will find these instructions. The final portfolio is comprised of a thoughtful arrangement of the revisions of your 5 poems discussed in the groups and 4 new poems that you are to work on your own at any time during the semester. I encourage you to work on them throughout the semester rather than in the rush of time of the final weeks. This is about revision and sequencing. I really want to underscore the fact that revision only works if it's begun early. You have now about 8 weeks to finish your final portfolio. And that means that you have 8 weeks to revise the 5 poems from the class, 3 of which have been discussed, and then to write 4 new poems. And as you're writing, to think about the themes and the ideas and the subjects and the concerns that have come up during the writing of those first 5 poems, so that you can make something that's stitched together rather than random. So let's work against the random, and let's work towards a completion, a feeling of completion, the sense that there is a mind that's working behind these poems, that's shaping them and bringing them together. Additionally, you are to include a preface of roughly 1,000 words in which you present your creative process as it relates to the writing of your poems, the concepts we've covered in class, and what you've learned about the cross-pollination of creativity. Research about creativity is encouraged. Reference to the texts we've read or any that you find on your own is likewise encouraged. So in your preface, I am looking for you to be able to tell me about your creative process. What's it been like for you? What has changed since the first week of class? What have you thought about that you hadn't thought about before? What did the Eric Meisel book offer to you? And to use some of the terms that have come up in that book. For instance, what's an art-committed life? And do you resonate with that term of an art-committed life, or anything that comes up in the book? Revision, negative thoughts, self-doubt, anything that we've talked about in class, that you've written about in class, your environment for creativity, for instance, anything that comes to you from the book or from any of the other readings or any of the other videos, or any concept that you have found on your own that helps you become a better creative person. So that's what I'm looking for in your 1,000 words, your honest reaction to creativity. And speaking of creativity, in this last paragraph, I encourage you to be as creative as you like in the presentation of your portfolio. Feel free to include illustrations, audio files, including singing if you're a singer, even if you're not, and any other media that you would like to. If your final portfolio is multimedia, don't worry about posting anything but the Word document in assignments. You're going to be posting the finished product in the group conversations in the discussion forum that you find through modules, through the module tab of the class like usual. And you are also encouraged to post media files in Google Docs if the media files don't work in the Canvas system. So in other words, if you'd like to be creative and include audio files or other files that are more difficult or cumbersome for you to work with in Canvas, just let me know and I'll open a Google Docs form. I'm sorry, not a form, a Google document in the Drive. So a Google Drive folder for our class in which you can post your or upload your file. And as I'm thinking about file, I'm purposely not saying files. Everything must be in one file for this presentation. So no separate documents. Everything's together in one single clickable document. So it's very difficult for me and for anybody in the class to scroll through or click into 20 different pages, let's just say. We want to open a document and then scroll through the document. So let me show you a few examples. So first, examples of physical copies. So just documents that I found to be quite visually appealing. Okay, so this one is very lovely, simple, and elegant without having much fanfare. Just a simple document that opens poem by poem. Okay, and there's nothing but the language. So there's the preface, and then there are the poems. Okay, so, and that's very nice. It's very well made. Another student portfolio is another simple one, right? Tied. Very nice. Very simple. Only this one had some little illustrations. And it's very faint. It's nice. It's called Cherry Blossoms, and the whole effect of it is kind of like a cherry blossom. You know, it's very understated. So it's very beautifully done. And then there are more extravagant ones such as this. And these are, it's bound and it's much bigger and it's very well done. And there are some illustrations here also. But what we get out of doing something like a physical or a digital project is a way to bring your ideas into focus, to have something running through your portfolio that holds it together. Why are these poems together other than just because you wrote them in the spring of 2023? Here's another one. This student wrote, she colored throughout the entire semester, and I encouraged her to. And so she included all kinds of different illustrations that she made, some of which were during class. And I thought it was really creative and fun and unique. So those are some of the physical ones. Let's look now at some of the digital ones. So one person wanted to create an audio file. So here's her file of all the poems, right? And it's a single document that you can scroll through, straight through. Okay, and it's very nice, well made, not complicated. And then there is also a audio file here.
Hey,
okay,
man, give me a reason. It's gonna be alright. I'll play my music to the sky. You'll follow me into the night. I got you on who's my side. Oh, I hope you're doing well on this trip back up from hell. Don't turn.
Okay, so that's a nice example. And then let's look at a couple of others for you to be able to get a sense of the possibilities. So here's a final portfolio, all one document again, and just the poems, a little bit of color, and a photo. If you just want white pages with nothing but typing on it and nothing of color or anything complex at all, that's totally fine to me. So I'm not grading you on how well your portfolio looks. I'm grading you on how well the poems are put together. And what I've noticed is that in some cases, students who put the poems together in a more complex document, such as this one, do really well. So here are songs. Okay, and here's click for audio. This is really nice. And what we get here are
muñeca de porcelana,
our audio
frágil jaula de
representations of the poems.
Personalidad dual.
So it's very, very well done, right? And again, if she just had posted these poems by themselves, that would have been fine. But she got really creative. So poetry in the creative process, why not? If you want to. If you have no digital capacities like this, don't worry about it. Just hand in one word processed document, okay? So I think this should give you some idea now, and I'm going to leave you to think about what you'd like to do with your own portfolio, and I welcome all forms of creativity. Talk to you later.